before taking another sip. "I have nowhere to sleep." "You're not Italian, signorina." "Just one of my problems," the girl said in a lilting accent. And then she started to cry. Chapter 2. Empoli. They had to change trains. At Empoli, side by side, they sat in an empty waiting room, and before long, the girl's head slumped onto his shoulder. Trotti felt the rasp of the girl's thick hair against his cheek, and he could smell its warmth. He closed his eyes and recalled the first meeting with Eva in Milan. A long time ago, before the beating they gave her and her hurried, frightened departure for Uruguay. He dozed off. The local train pulled into the station, and the girl woke Trotti with a sharp jab of her elbow. Grabbing his arm and her bag, she pulled him out into the feeble light of morning and bustled him onto the impatient train, an old, rust-coloured Littorina. After the stuffy coziness of the waiting room, the compartment was cold and the train empty. They collapsed onto upholstery that smelled of cigarette smoke and sweat. The locomotive gave a melancholy hoot to the grey sky, and the outskirts of Empoli were soon falling behind them. They were both too weary to talk, but Trotti was no longer tired enough to sleep. He stared through the window at the rolling countryside of Tuscany, grey-green beneath the leaden sky. It was quite unlike the flat expanses of Lombardy. Tuscany could have been a different country. It was a different world. "You're not from Florence?" she asked, as if reading his thoughts. One eye was closed, one eye was looking at him. "Padania," he laughed. A frown. "I'm from the north." After leaving Bari in the mid-70s, Trotti had travelled south only on 3 occasions, and never for pleasure. It was not that Piero Trotti disliked central Italy or the south, unlike the legista Ubertini in Scientifica, who maintained that you needed a pith helmet and a rifle to venture anywhere south of the Po. Florence, Rome, and Palermo were as much a part of the Republic as Milan and Bergamo, Crema, and Lodi. It was just that Trotti had no call to go there. He had always been happy where he was, in the city where he belonged, with its winter fogs, and with its mosquitoes and its airless heat during the summer. The softness of the Tuscan hills, even on a freezing April morning, was quite alien to him. The girl sat before him, and soon the second eye closed again as she dropped off. Surreptitiously, Trotti studied the graceful hands and the long fingers where they loosely clasped the cloth bag. He smiled to himself. Her name was Wilma Barclay, and, speaking in idiomatic Italian, she had told him that she was from America. She was 21, the same age as Pioppi when his daughter had decided she no longer wanted to eat. No young woman with all the challenges of life before her, American or otherwise, deserved to be left to fend for herself on a freezing night outside Florence SMN. The train emitted its mournful hoot, a hoot made more mournful by the first snowflakes that battered against the window. The 6:45 local from Empoli pulled in to Siena. Chapter 3. Pétain. "General Spadano is waiting for you." "General?" With a remote patrician smile, the uniformed officer leaned forward and opened the door. "Kindly enter," he said, in an educated voice. Although a policeman himself for nearly 40 years, Trotti still imagined that most flat feet were called quagliarulo.